This is the Bic Cristal, possibly the most successful product ever made. No matter where you are in the world, you'll find this pen in homes, offices, schools, and pretty much everywhere else. This iconic design has reached every corner of the earth, and at some point in your life, you've almost certainly used this pen. Since its release in 1950, more than 100 billion of these pens have been sold worldwide, blowing the next best-selling products out of the water. Amazingly, the design has remained basically unchanged for over 70 years, and it still continues to dominate the world, with 14 million being sold every day. The impact this pen had on the world was monumental. Pen prices dropped and literacy rates shot up. But what made this pen so successful? We modeled every last detail to show you the incredible story behind this pen and how its clever use of physics made it the most perfect design. But to really understand how revolutionary this pen was, we need to go back in time. In the past, pens were expensive and difficult to use. Traditional quills were messy and had to be constantly dipped in ink. Because of this, writing was seen as more of an art form, limited to those who could use a pen. Then the fountain pen was invented, which had a metallic nib and could store the ink inside the pen's reservoir. Although this was an improvement, the nib was scratchy and couldn't control the flow of ink. On top of this, they were still super expensive, costing around $150 in today's money. At the time, only around 20% of the world could read and write, and this wasn't making it any easier. But at the end of the 19th century, a breakthrough was made. American inventor John Loud came up with a mechanism that fed the ink onto the page using a small ball instead of a thin nib. This would, in theory, spread the ink more evenly and stop it from blotching. He had just invented the ballpoint pen. While this design worked well on tougher surfaces, it was too rough on paper, and so his pen never sold. Decades went by, and many new designs were made, but none of them could master the ballpoint pen. If the ball was too tight in its socket, the ink would clog up and it wouldn't reach the paper. If it was too loose, the ink would leak out and smear all over the page. Getting this right was extremely difficult, since the tiny ball was difficult to make with any kind of accuracy. Then came Laszlo Biro, a man with a name you might recognize. He realized that the solution was in the ink.